Breaking news. Red Bull Racing eyes Yuki Tsunoda for Japanese Grand Prix driver swap amid L.Lawson's early season struggles. The high-octane world of Formula One is once again ablaze with fervent speculation, the rumor mill churning at full speed as whispers of a potential seismic shift within the Red Bull Racing camp gain traction. Just ahead of the highly anticipated Japanese Grand Prix, slated to ignite the Suzuka circuit in Mie Prefecture, Japan, on April 6th, the dominant force in recent F1 seasons is reportedly contemplating a significant alteration to its driver lineup. Multiple reputable media outlets, most notably the American sports broadcasting behemoth ESPN, have thrown their weight behind the notion that Red Bull Racing might be on the verge of replacing their current underperforming second driver, L.Lawson, with the prodigious talent of Racing Bull's own Yuki Tsunoda. This potential swap is being heavily discussed as a strategic maneuver for the third race of the 2025 Formula One World Championship season. L.Lawson, the 23-year-old New Zealander entrusted with the formidable task of partnering the reigning four-time world champion Max Verstappen, has endured a challenging start to his tenure with the senior Red Bull team. His initial performances have fallen considerably short of the lofty expectations that accompany a seat alongside one of the sport's modern greats. In stark contrast, Yuki Tsunoda, the 24-year-old Japanese driver who has been steadily honing his skills over 5 seasons with Red Bull's sister team, Racing Bulls, formerly Toro Rosso and AlphaTauri, has consistently showcased a level of promise and maturity that has not gone unnoticed by the Red Bull hierarchy. The mere suggestion of this driver change has sent shockwaves through the global Formula One fanbase and has become a central topic of debate among seasoned analysts and passionate enthusiasts alike. The core of the discussion revolves around Red Bull's strategic direction moving forward. Are they poised to make a bold mid-season adjustment to maximize their chances in both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships, or will they afford Lawson more time to find his footing in the demanding environment of a top-tier team? The unfolding narrative promises to be a captivating one, with the Japanese Grand Prix potentially serving as a pivotal moment in the 2025 season. Red Bull's second driver conundrum, a recurring challenge in the pursuit of perfection. Red Bull Racing has unequivocally established itself as a true colossus in the contemporary Formula One landscape. This dominance has been largely orchestrated by the sheer brilliance and unwavering consistency of their star driver, Max Verstappen. The gifted Dutch driver has not only become the face of the team but has also etched his name into the annals of motorsport history by securing the coveted Drivers' Championship for an impressive 4 consecutive seasons, a testament to his exceptional talent and the team's engineering prowess. However, despite their overwhelming success at the pinnacle of the sport, Red Bull Racing has consistently grappled with what can be accurately described as their Achilles heel, the persistent challenge of identifying and retaining a second driver who can consistently complement Verstappen's extraordinary abilities. Over the years, the team has embarked on a quest to find the ideal partner for their superstar, experimenting with a diverse array of talented individuals in the coveted second seat. Each driver who has taken on this role has faced the daunting and often unenviable task of not only matching the blistering pace of Verstappen but also maintaining a level of consistency that allows them to contribute significantly to the team's overall championship aspirations. Following the departure of the ever-popular and highly skilled Daniel Ricciardo at the end of the 2018 season, a void was created that Red Bull Racing has struggled to fill with absolute certainty. In the immediate aftermath of Ricciardo's exit, the team turned to the promising talents of Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon. Both drivers were highly regarded within the Red Bull Junior program and showed flashes of brilliance, but ultimately, they both found it exceedingly difficult to consistently meet the incredibly high expectations set by the team, particularly when measured against the benchmark of Verstappen's performances. Their tenures in the second Red Bull seat were relatively short-lived, highlighting the intense pressure and scrutiny that comes with racing for a championship contending team. In a bid to bring more experience and stability to the second driver role, Red Bull Racing recruited Sergio Pérez, a seasoned veteran from Mexico, for the 2021 season. Perez's arrival initially appeared to be a successful solution. He enjoyed a relatively fruitful stint with the team, showcasing his racecraft and contributing valuable points that were instrumental in Red Bull's successful campaigns in the Constructors' Championship. Perez's experience and tactical awareness proved to be beneficial in certain race scenarios, and he played a crucial supporting role to Verstappen's championship victories. However, even Perez's form experienced a notable dip in the latter half of the 2024 season. This decline in performance raised concerns within the team and ultimately played a significant role in Red Bull's decision to look for a new face to partner Verstappen for the 2025 season. For the current 2025 Formula One season, Red Bull Racing opted to promote L.Lawson, a highly rated 23-year-old driver hailing from New Zealand. Lawson had previously made a strong impression during brief stints with their sister team, Racing Bulls, where he demonstrated both speed and composure under pressure. Lawson's promotion to the senior team came as a surprise to some observers within the Formula One community. Yuki Tsunoda, the aforementioned 24-year-old Japanese driver who had accumulated 5 seasons of valuable experience racing for Racing Bulls, was also widely considered to be a strong contender for the coveted seat. Ultimately, the Red Bull hierarchy decided to place their faith in Lawson, citing his perceived potential for future growth and his demonstrated mental fortitude. However, his early performances in the opening 2 races of the 2025 season have unfortunately cast significant doubt on the wisdom of that decision, fueling the current speculation about a potential driver swap. L.Lawson's faltering start, a rocky road in the opening stages of the 2025 season. L.Lawson's highly anticipated transition to the formidable Red Bull Racing team has been anything but smooth. The young New Zealander has encountered a series of significant challenges in his first 2 races of the 2025 Formula One season, leaving him struggling to find his rhythm and deliver the kind of performance expected of a driver in such a competitive environment. The season-opening Australian Grand Prix, held at the iconic Albert Park circuit in Melbourne, proved to be a baptism of fire for Lawson. He struggled throughout the weekend to extract the maximum performance from the RB21 car, ultimately qualifying in a disappointing 18th position on the grid. This starting position placed him firmly in the midfield pack, far from where a Red Bull driver is typically expected to be. His race day in Melbourne ended in further disappointment and frustration when he was forced to retire on lap 46 following a racing incident that resulted in a crash. This premature end to his debut race with the senior Red Bull team marked a deeply frustrating start to his 2025 campaign. Hoping for a significant improvement in performance, Red Bull Racing and L.Lawson arrived at the Shanghai International Circuit in China for the second round of the championship. However, Lawson's woes unfortunately continued on Chinese soil. He endured a challenging qualifying session, finding himself at the very back of the grid in 20th place for both the sprint race and the main Grand Prix. The team, in a desperate attempt to unlock more performance from the car and improve Lawson's feeling, made drastic setup changes to his RB21 machine. This necessitated him starting the main Grand Prix from the pit lane, further compounding his difficulties. In the sprint race on Saturday in China, Lawson finished a distant 14th, unable to make any significant impact on the race despite the shorter format. The main race on Sunday offered little in the way of improvement for the young New Zealander. He crossed the finish line in 15th place, a position that is far from acceptable for a Red Bull driver. While he was eventually promoted to 12th place following post-race disqualifications of other competitors, this gain was more a result of external factors than a reflection of his own pace and performance throughout the weekend. A closer examination of Lawson's lap times throughout the Chinese Grand Prix weekend revealed a significant performance deficit compared to his teammate, Max Verstappen. On average, Lawson's lap times were nearly a full second slower than those of the reigning world champion, starkly highlighting the considerable gap between the 2 Red Bull drivers in terms of pace and car control. These lackluster results from the opening 2 races of the 2025 season have left the Red Bull Racing team without a single point contributed by their second driver in the Constructors' Championship standings. This puts them at a significant disadvantage in their battle against formidable rivals like McLaren and Mercedes, who have both enjoyed strong starts to the season with both of their drivers consistently scoring points. L.Lawson himself has been remarkably candid and honest about his struggles during these initial races. He has openly admitted that the steep learning curve associated with driving for a top Formula One team, coupled with the limited preparation time he had before the start of the season, have significantly hindered his ability to adapt to the intricacies of the Red Bull RB21 car. "It's really tough, honestly," Lawson confessed in a post-race interview after the Chinese Grand Prix. "The window's really small, and I need to get a handle on it. There's no time to test the car or really get used to it in a proper race environment. Despite his evident determination and commitment to improving his performance, Lawson's results thus far have fallen considerably short of the high expectations that are inherently placed on a driver occupying a seat with one of Formula One's most dominant and successful teams. This early season underperformance has understandably fueled the growing speculation surrounding his immediate future with Red Bull Racing. Yuki Tsunoda's steady rise, the emergence of a potential star within the Red Bull system. While L.Lawson has been grappling with the immense pressures and challenges of his new role at Red Bull Racing, Yuki Tsunoda has been quietly and steadily establishing himself as a standout performer within the ranks of Racing Bull's, Red Bull's sister team. The talented Japanese driver, now embarking on his 5th season with the Faenza-based outfit, has demonstrated remarkable growth, consistency, and maturity behind the wheel of the RB20. His impressive performances in the early stages of the 2025 season have undeniably strengthened his case for a potential step up to the senior Red Bull squad. At the season-opening Australian Grand Prix, Yuki Tsunoda delivered a particularly impressive qualifying performance, securing a highly respectable 5th position on the grid. This strong starting position placed him firmly in contention for a significant points finish in the race. Throughout the Grand Prix in Melbourne, Tsunoda ran as high as 6th place, demonstrating his ability to compete with the leading midfield contenders. However, his race result was somewhat compromised by a questionable strategic call made by the Racing Bull's pit wall, which ultimately dropped him down the order to 12th place by the checkered flag. Despite this disappointing outcome, the fact that Tsunoda was consistently running at a pace capable of securing a top 10 finish clearly indicated his potential and the competitive nature of the Racing Bull's package in his hands. The subsequent Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai further solidified Tsunoda's burgeoning reputation as a reliable and competitive driver. In the sprint race on Saturday, he delivered a strong performance to finish in 6th place, showcasing his ability to not only maintain a good starting position but also to defend it against the advances of other talented drivers, including a hard-charging Andrea Kimi Antonelli of the Mercedes Junior program. His performance in the main Grand Prix on Sunday was equally promising. He was once again running comfortably within the points scoring positions until an unfortunate front wing failure forced him to make an unscheduled pit stop. This unexpected setback relegated him down the order, and he ultimately finished the race in 19th place. Despite this disappointing end to his race in China, Tsunoda's ability to consistently compete with the frontrunners of the midfield pack and to extract the maximum performance from his machinery has not gone unnoticed by the key decision-makers within the Red Bull organization. Dr. Helmut Marko, the influential Red Bull advisor who plays a pivotal role in the team's driver selection process, has been particularly vocal in his praise of Yuki Tsunoda's recent development. Marko, known for his often blunt and direct assessments of drivers, has publicly stated, "Yuki is a different Yuki from the years before. He is in the form of his life. He's more mature." This glowing endorsement from such a key figure within the Red Bull hierarchy speaks volumes about the progress Tsunoda has made and the impression he has been making on the team's leadership. Tsunoda's current resurgence in form comes after a challenging start to his Formula One career, which was often marked by periods of inconsistency and occasional outbursts of frustration. However, with the support of a new management team and a more disciplined and focused approach to his racing, Tsunoda has undergone a significant transformation. He has evolved into a reliable and consistently competitive driver, demonstrating a newfound level of maturity both on and off the track. His recent performances have undeniably reignited discussions and speculation about the potential for his promotion to the coveted second seat at Red Bull Racing, particularly as L.Lawson's early season struggles have exposed a potential weakness in the team's current driver lineup. The rumors intensify. Is a driver swap on the horizon for the Japanese Grand Prix? The stark contrast between L.Lawson's disappointing results in the opening 2 races of the 2025 season and Yuki Tsunoda's consistently solid and impressive performances for Racing Bulls has ignited widespread speculation within the Formula One community that Red Bull Racing is seriously contemplating a driver swap for the upcoming Japanese Grand Prix. The race, which is held at the legendary Suzuka circuit, holds a particularly significant meaning for Yuki Tsunoda as it is his home event. This adds an extra layer of emotional and symbolic weight to the potential driver change, making it a compelling storyline for the Japanese fans and the global F1 audience. Reports emanating from reputable sources such as ESPN and other well-respected motorsport publications indicate that Red Bull Racing is actively evaluating its options regarding their driver lineup. Insiders within the Formula One paddock have suggested that a final decision on whether to proceed with a driver swap could be made in the days leading up to the Japanese Grand Prix, adding a sense of urgency and anticipation to the situation. Christian Horner, the long-standing and highly successful team principal of Red Bull Racing, has remained characteristically tight-lipped when questioned about the swirling rumors. When pressed on the possibility of a change in the driver lineup before the Japanese Grand Prix, Horner offered a measured and somewhat ambiguous response. "At this point, it's all just speculation," Horner stated. "Liam has potential, and we're working to help him realize it. We haven't been able to fully shape that yet." While Horner's carefully chosen words leave ample room for interpretation and do not definitively confirm or deny the possibility of a driver swap, his refusal to categorically dismiss the speculation has only served to further fuel the already intense rumors circulating within the Formula One world. With the Japanese Grand Prix just a couple of weeks away at the time of these reports, the pressure is undoubtedly mounting on Red Bull Racing to finalize their plans and make a decision that could have significant implications for their season. Tsunoda's confidence, poised and ready for the big stage opportunity. Yuki Tsunoda has not shied away from openly expressing his readiness and eagerness to join the Red Bull Racing team should the opportunity arise. The talented Japanese driver, who has been linked with a potential move to the senior Red Bull squad for several years now, exudes a palpable sense of confidence as he prepares for his home race at the iconic Suzuka circuit. When directly asked about the prospect of stepping into the cockpit of the Red Bull RB21 car alongside Max Verstappen, Tsunoda declared with unwavering conviction, "Yeah, why not? I'm 100% ready." His strong sense of assurance is further bolstered by his previous experience driving the Red Bull car during a post-season testing session in Abu Dhabi at the end of the 2024 Formula One season. During this test, Tsunoda reportedly felt comfortable and competitive behind the wheel of the Red Bull machinery, which has undoubtedly given him added belief in his ability to handle the demands of racing for the championship-winning team. Reflecting on his experience and the current situation, Tsunoda offered his perspective on Lawson's struggles, stating, "I haven't driven that car this season, so I don't know exactly why Liam is struggling. But in Abu Dhabi, I didn't have that feeling. As a driver, you always have to adapt to the car you are given, and I feel like I am in a really good place with my driving and my understanding of Formula One." While he did not have the opportunity to directly compare his performance to that of Max Verstappen during the Abu Dhabi test, Tsunoda's positive feedback and his feeling of comfort within the Red Bull car have undoubtedly strengthened his belief that he possesses the necessary skills and maturity to handle the immense pressure and performance demands of racing for such a high-profile team. His calm and composed demeanor when discussing the possibility of a move to Red Bull stands in stark contrast to the visible frustration that Liam Lawson has sometimes displayed in recent interviews, further highlighting Tsunoda's growing maturity and his readiness for a potential promotion. For Yuki Tsunoda, the upcoming Japanese Grand Prix represents far more than just another race on the Formula One calendar. It is a unique and incredibly special opportunity to perform in front of his passionate home crowd, surrounded by the unwavering support of his national fans. Moreover, it could potentially be the event where he secures a life-changing opportunity to race for Red Bull Racing, a prospect that would undoubtedly be a dream come true for any Formula One driver, especially one racing in their home country. Last year at Suzuka, Tsunoda achieved a significant milestone in his career by scoring points for the first time at his home Grand Prix, finishing within the top 10 and earning widespread praise for his spirited and determined drive. This season, he is undoubtedly aiming to repeat that feat, if not surpass it, regardless of whether he is piloting the Racing Bulls RB20 or potentially the Red Bull Racing RB21. Suzuka is a very different track compared to the first two races, and I don't know exactly how our car will perform there, Tsunoda acknowledged. But I am incredibly excited to race in front of my home fans. I think we have a good baseline setup, and I will work hard with my team to prepare as well as possible to score points. Championship stakes. Red Bull's title hopes hang precariously in the balance. The potential driver swap being considered by Red Bull Racing carries significant implications for the team's aspirations in both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships for the 2025 Formula One season. After the completion of the first two races, Red Bull Racing currently finds itself in third place in the Constructors' standings. While this is still a respectable position, it is noteworthy that all of the points accumulated by the team thus far have been solely contributed by the exceptional performances of Max Verstappen. The fact that their second driver, L.Lawson, has failed to score any points in the opening rounds has left Red Bull somewhat vulnerable in their quest to retain the constructors' title. Meanwhile, their rivals, McLaren, have enjoyed a strong start to the 2025 season. Thanks to consistent and impressive performances from both of their drivers, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, McLaren has surged ahead in the constructors' standings, posing a significant threat to Red Bull's dominance. Similarly, the Mercedes team has also shown encouraging signs of improved pace and reliability in the early races, indicating that they too will be formidable contenders throughout the season. Red Bull Racing's inability to extract points from their second driver has undoubtedly left them in a precarious position, a situation that team principal Christian Horner is acutely aware of. We need both of our cars consistently scoring points if we are to have any realistic chance of fighting for the Constructors' Championship against such strong competition, Horner admitted in a recent interview, underscoring the urgency of addressing their second driver situation. L.Lawson's struggles in the opening races have not only cost Red Bull valuable points in the Constructors' Championship battle but have also exposed a potential strategic weakness for the team at a crucial time when their main rivals are capitalizing on every opportunity to maximize their points haul. The promotion of Yuki Tsunoda to the second Red Bull seat could potentially provide the team with a much-needed boost in terms of performance and consistency. Tsunoda has demonstrated the ability to challenge for points on a regular basis with Racing Bulls, suggesting that he could offer Red Bull a second driver capable of supporting Max Verstappen's title defense more effectively. However, the decision to potentially replace Lawson after just 2 races is not without its inherent risks. Such a move could potentially disrupt team morale and might raise lingering questions about Red Bull's driver development program and their commitment to nurturing young talent. Lawson's fight for survival. The clock is ticking for the young New Zealander. For L.Lawson, the pressure is undoubtedly immense. The young New Zealander is acutely aware that his seat at Red Bull Racing, a dream for any aspiring Formula One driver, is potentially on the line after just 2 races. His recent comments in the media reflect a mixture of determination to improve and a stark realism about the situation he finds himself in. I know that I need to perform, and if I'm not delivering the results that the team expects, then I won't be around for very long, Lawson acknowledged after the Chinese Grand Prix. But my primary focus right now is on continuing to learn and adapt to the car as quickly as I possibly can. Lawson's challenges in these early races have been compounded by his relative inexperience at some of the circuits featured at the beginning of the 2025 season, including the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne and the Shanghai International Circuit. He has had limited prior exposure to these tracks compared to many of his more experienced rivals on the grid. Red Bull Racing's initial faith in L.Lawson was largely based on his standout performances during his limited outings with their sister team, Racing Bulls. In those races, he demonstrated impressive resilience, maturity, and raw speed, leading many to believe that he was ready for the step up to a top team. However, the transition to the senior Red Bull squad, with its significantly higher performance expectations and the immense pressure of partnering a 4-time world champion, has proven to be a particularly steep learning curve for the young New Zealander. The Red Bull hierarchy now faces a critical decision: whether to afford Lawson more time and opportunities to adapt to his new environment and unlock his full potential, or to make a swift and potentially difficult decision to cut their losses and opt for a more experienced and currently informed driver in Yuki Tsunoda. Lawson's mental strength and his ability to perform under this intense scrutiny will be severely tested in the coming days and weeks. However, in the cutthroat and results-driven world of Formula One, potential often takes a backseat to tangible performance, and Lawson's early season woes have undoubtedly placed him in a precarious and unenviable position. Red Bull's history of bold moves, setting precedents for potential change. Red Bull Racing has a well-established history of not shying away from making decisive and often bold driver changes when they deem it necessary to optimize their performance and protect their championship aspirations. Perhaps the most notable example of this occurred during the 2016 Formula One season. Faced with underperformance from their then-driver Daniil Kvyat, the team made the audacious decision to promote a young and relatively inexperienced Max Verstappen from their junior team, Toro Rosso, now Racing Bulls, to the senior Red Bull Racing squad midway through the season. This move proved to be an immediate masterstroke, as Verstappen sensationally won the Spanish Grand Prix in his debut race for Red Bull, instantly validating the team's bold decision. 3 years later, during the 2019 Formula One season, Red Bull Racing once again demonstrated their willingness to act swiftly when their driver lineup was not delivering the desired results. After Pierre Gasly, who had been promoted to the team at the start of the season, struggled to consistently match the pace and performance of Max Verstappen, Red Bull made the decision to swap him back to Toro Rosso and promote Alex Albon to the senior team in his place. This mid-season driver change underscored Red Bull's commitment to maximizing their competitiveness and their readiness to make tough decisions to safeguard their championship chances. These historical examples from Red Bull Racing's past strongly suggest that the possibility of a driver swap ahead of the Japanese Grand Prix, involving L.Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda, is well within the team's established playbook. Red Bull has consistently shown that they are not afraid to make significant changes to their driver lineup if they believe it will ultimately benefit their overall performance and their pursuit of championship glory. However, the team must also carefully consider the potential long-term implications of such a move in the current situation. L.Lawson represents a significant investment in Red Bull's highly successful junior driver development program, and discarding him prematurely after just 2 races could potentially undermine confidence in their ability to nurture and promote young talent within their system. Conversely, Yuki Tsunoda has been patiently waiting in the wings, diligently honing his skills and demonstrating his potential during his 5 seasons with Racing Bulls, building a strong and compelling case for a promotion to the senior team. The Japanese Grand Prix, a defining moment on home soil. The upcoming Japanese Grand Prix, held at the iconic Suzuka circuit, is shaping up to be a pivotal and highly significant event in the 2025 Formula One season for a multitude of reasons. For Yuki Tsunoda, in particular, this race represents a unique and incredibly special opportunity to shine on his home soil, surrounded by the fervent support of his national fans. Whether he remains with the Racing Bulls team for this event or earns a coveted call-up to the Red Bull Racing squad, the Japanese Grand Prix will undoubtedly be a weekend of immense pressure and opportunity for the young driver. The 5.8-kilometer Suzuka circuit, renowned for its challenging and flowing layout, as well as its passionate and knowledgeable fanbase, holds a deep and personal meaning for Yuki Tsunoda, who has often spoken fondly of the incredible experience of racing in front of his home crowd. Last season, he celebrated a significant milestone in his Formula One career by scoring points at Suzuka for the very first time, finishing within the top 10 and earning widespread praise for his spirited and determined drive. This season, he will undoubtedly be aiming to repeat that achievement, or even surpass it, regardless of the team he is representing. For Red Bull Racing, the Japanese Grand Prix could very well mark a crucial turning point in their 2025 championship campaign. A decision to implement a driver change ahead of this race would send a clear signal of their intent to address their early season struggles head-on and to maximize their chances of competing for both titles. Conversely, deciding to stick with L.Lawson for the Japanese Grand Prix would reflect a continued commitment to nurturing his potential, despite his rocky start to the season, and would give him another opportunity to prove his worth to the team. Either way, the decision that Red Bull Racing ultimately makes regarding their driver lineup for the Japanese Grand Prix will undoubtedly reverberate throughout the Formula One paddock and will set the tone for the battles and developments that lie ahead in the remainder of the 2025 season. Voices from the paddock. Insights from the key figures involved. The intense speculation surrounding Red Bull Racing's potential driver lineup change has elicited a variety of responses from the key figures at the heart of this unfolding story. Christian Horner, in his role as team principal, has adopted a characteristically measured and diplomatic approach to the rumors. His statement, "We'll review all the data from the first 2 races and then make a decision that we believe is in the best interests of the team," suggests that Red Bull is carefully and methodically weighing its options, balancing their short-term needs for immediate performance with their long-term goals for driver development and championship success. Dr. Helmut Marko, known for his more candid and often blunt assessments, has offered praise for Yuki Tsunoda's recent performances while also subtly hinting at his dissatisfaction with L.Lawson's results. While he has stopped short of making a definitive statement about a potential driver swap, his comments strongly suggest a preference for exploring the possibility of bringing Tsunoda into the senior team. Yuki Tsunoda, for his part, has remained remarkably focused on the task at hand, consistently delivering strong performances for Racing Bulls while also exuding a quiet confidence when asked about the Red Bull rumors. "I am in a good state mentally and physically," he reiterated after the Chinese Grand Prix, emphasizing his readiness to seize any opportunity that may come his way. L.Lawson, understandably, has adopted a more introspective and determined tone in his recent interviews. He acknowledges the challenges he has faced in the opening races and is acutely aware of the pressure he is under. However, he remains resolute in his commitment to improving and fighting for his place within the Red Bull Racing team. "It's all about continuing to learn, getting the absolute maximum out of myself, and working closely with the team to unlock the full potential of the car," Lawson stated, fully aware that his Formula One career at this level hangs in the balance. The bigger picture: Red Bull's strategic dilemma beyond the immediate decision. Beyond the immediate and pressing question of their driver lineup for the Japanese Grand Prix, Red Bull Racing faces a broader and more complex strategic dilemma. The team's remarkable dominance in recent Formula One seasons has been primarily built upon the exceptional talent and consistent performance of Max Verstappen. However, the ultimate goal of securing the Constructors' Championship requires significant and consistent contributions from both drivers. With formidable rivals such as McLaren and Mercedes demonstrating early strength and consistency in the 2025 season, Red Bull Racing cannot afford to have a driver in their second seat who is consistently failing to score points. The potential promotion of Yuki Tsunoda to the Red Bull Racing team could provide them with a much-needed injection of performance and stability in their driver lineup, potentially bolstering their hopes of successfully defending both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships. However, such a move would also inevitably raise questions about their initial decision to back L.Lawson over Tsunoda for the 2025 season and could lead to scrutiny of their driver evaluation and selection processes. The current situation also serves as a stark reminder of the unforgiving and highly competitive nature of Formula One, where raw talent alone is often not enough to guarantee success. Drivers must be able to consistently deliver results under immense pressure and constant scrutiny. For L.Lawson, the past two races have undoubtedly provided a harsh but valuable introduction to the intense demands and expectations that come with racing for a top-tier team. Conversely, for Yuki Tsunoda, his patience, perseverance, and consistent improvement over the past 5 seasons may finally be rewarded with the golden opportunity to race for Red Bull Racing. The decision that the Red Bull Racing hierarchy ultimately makes in the coming days will not only significantly shape the trajectory of their 2025 season but could also have a profound impact on the future careers of both L.Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda. Conclusion: a decision that could change the course of the season. As the Formula One circus prepares to descend upon the legendary Suzuka circuit for the highly anticipated Japanese Grand Prix, all eyes within the motorsport world will be firmly fixed on Red Bull Racing. The burning question on everyone's lips is whether the team will choose to stick with their young New Zealander, L.Lawson, affording him more time and opportunities to find his footing and demonstrate his true potential, or whether they will make the bold decision to turn to their highly promising Japanese star, Yuki Tsunoda, handing him a golden opportunity to race for the senior team in front of his passionate home crowd. The rumors and speculation are swirling with increasing intensity. The stakes for both the team and the drivers involved are incredibly high, and the clock is rapidly ticking towards a decision. For L.Lawson, the coming days and the Japanese Grand Prix weekend itself represent a critical test of his resilience, his ability to learn and adapt under pressure, and his mental fortitude. For Yuki Tsunoda, it is a chance to potentially step onto the biggest stage in Formula One and prove to the world that he has the talent, maturity, and composure to compete at the very highest level. And for Red Bull Racing, the decision they make will be one that could ultimately determine their fate in the fiercely contested 2025 Formula One World Championship battle. Whatever the outcome, the Japanese Grand Prix promises to be a thrilling and dramatic chapter in the unfolding saga of the 2025 Formula One season, with the global motorsport community eagerly watching to see how this compelling story will ultimately unfold.